Hey guys, another end of season review, the gear that I used this year. Talking about my cooking equipment. I've been using for my last 20 years a Ultralight stove, and I wanted to get away from the liquid fuel stoves. I do some air travel when I go backpacking. Sometimes we'll put stuff on and it's having to go pick up white gas or something. It's kind of a pain, and you can find this stuff anywhere. I found a few places that will take these half empty ones back, but they won't take the half empty can of white gas back. So so I decided I want to go to a canister setup. So I got the Pocket Rocket 2 from MSR. Great stove, liked it, would buy it again if I needed a stove. So if you're in the market for this one, I totally recommend that you pick it up. I don't have another like the original Pocket Rocket to compare size to, but I wanted to see if I could find something that was even lighter to lighten my load even more. So I was seeing the reviews on YouTube, like I'm sure you guys probably have, for the Brs Titanium Stove. So for $11, I wanted to pick one up and just see what it was all about. As you can see, the difference in size is pretty significant. I don't remember the exact weights, but I believe this weighs about a third of what this guy weighs, and based on just feeling it, I would say that that's probably pretty close. Cook time is almost identical between the two of them. In some cases, this guy actually I think is a little bit faster based on the videos I've seen. I would say when I'm using them in the field, they look the same to me. This seems to do a little bit better in the wind than this does as far as cook time, so I don't know if it has to do with the way the jet is or whatever. I can't talk about the science behind it. But I do find that in the wind, I have to do a little bit more diligence about, putting a windbreak to keep this guy cooking correctly. It's not like it doesn't cook in the wind. It's just that the flame seems to blow a little bit more. So maybe it's not quite as strong as a flame. The only complaint I would have, and it's the complaint that most people have, is that it's so small that you got to really balance your pot right in the center of it and take care to make sure when you are moving the pot around or something that you're not going to lose your water or your meal or whatever it is you're cooking on it. Outside of that, I would totally use one, buy one in a heartbeat. And for the cost of this, you can buy I think 3 of these, maybe even almost 4 of these, depending on which version you go to. There's a bunch of companies that sell this exact stove under different names, but they all say BRS on them. I think I paid $11 with free shipping for this off of Amazon. So I would say look at the pictures. If you see one that looks similar, look at the pictures. My buddy bought one that looked similar. It wasn't quite like it. His weighs 1/10 of an ounce more than mine, and he says his works just as good as mine does. So there are other small ones out there that are great, but I would do the BRS in a heartbeat if you're looking for a much lighter canister stove. As far as the pots I used, I started out with the GSI microdualist. It's heavy. I got the kit with all the the spoons and all that stuff. I knew I wasn't using the spoons, so those went in the drawer. But it was too heavy. We used it for one trip this year. It was lighter than what I used before, believe it or not. But it's just too darn heavy. So I was researching other options, and I hiked with another person pretty much every hike. So I needed something that I could get a little bit more water in, so I didn't want to go back to something as small as a Snow Peak, and I wanted something that had some measuring markings on it. So this guy is the Evernew Ultralight version of their titanium. It's not nonstick. All I do is boil water in it, so I would not recommend this if you're cooking, actually trying to make food in it, because it will stick and most likely burn because it's so thin. But anyway, if you're just boiling water, it works great. It's got markings, but no ounce markings, so you have to be able to do the math or the conversions for yourself of what cups are. The lid, I like the fact that it had a lid. I wanted something with a lid just to be able to kind of eke out that last little bit of performance, and to be able to, if I did want to put something in it and cook, which I generally don't, to be able to put a lid on top. The only couple downsides I will say is it is really flimsy. So I'm always afraid that it's going to get smushed in my pack and that the lid's not going to fit right or anything. But so far, after I'd say 15 or so days of using it, it's been fine, and it always bounces right back to where it's supposed to. The handle's a little flimsy, but it works fine. If you're not careful with the flames. This plastic will get hot. I'm sure it would melt or burn if you aren't super careful with the flames. I've went to grab it before and had this plastic be really, really warm. Other than that, it's a great stove. I would buy it again. I got this also on Amazon. I know Z-Packs sells them as well. The small canisters fit fine inside them. You know, even with the BRS, it'll go in. The Pocket Rocket 2 will go in. You won't fit the Pocket Rocket 2 for sure with the bigger can. I think you could probably still get the BRS in there with a bigger can. I don't use the bigger can because I don't need that much fuel for a trip, and I'd rather save a little bit of extra weight. So definitely would recommend it. This was honestly was fine too. I would recommend this as well. It's just heavy. So if you're looking for like a full kit with, you know, cups and bowls and all that stuff, the microdualist is a good kit. But I'm gonna sell that on eBay. It was just too heavy for what I was trying to do. So if you have any questions about any of this, let me know. I didn't see any other reviews out there kind of comparing the size of the BRS to the Pocket Rocket 2. And everyone was talking about how much smaller the Pocket Rocket 2 was, and I just wanted to show everyone what it looked like next to the BRS, and it is significant. I think this weighs a little less than an ounce, and I think this weighs, you know, right around 3 ounces. Any questions, let me know. Send a comment down, and I will answer your comment. I have more opinion videos coming out, so subscribe if you're interested in watching those, and I will see you in the next video.